That was the complete version of Type 2 from Thunderblade, and this is Radio Redux. Hello everybody, and my name is Kevin. Welcome to the latest Radio Redux show. Hello, how are you doing? I hope you've had a very good week. If you're listening to this as it premieres on Radio Sega, or if you're listening to this at a later date, perhaps. All the tracks this week have a sort of a flight-related element to them. There's no particular reason for this. I just happened to, in my little notepad of playlists, started popping one together, and it's been there for a while. So I thought, hey, it's about time that we have that. So there's lots of things to do with flight and flying and birds and all sorts of things, all wrapped up in a nice little bow. So, what did you think of the big PS5 announcement after everything that we had last week with Microsoft and the smallest console ever, which we discussed was obviously the smallest Xbox ever as opposed to console, but never mind that, we've gone from that to the biggest PlayStation ever. It's huge. We knew this anyway, but it's even more huge. It's also going to age badly and turn cream in colour, probably, but hey. I'm surprised. You know, when it comes to actually consoles like this, I'm kind of surprised that people don't do a lot of tests on when they have a white console. Or I'm actually surprised that people don't do tests on, you know, the plastic and the materials, because there must be ways of speeding up like an aging process if it's like blasting it with light for a period of time. But who knows? If it's made out of the same stuff as the Wii, it should be fine. I haven't seen many cream Wiis here, there, or everywhere. And as somebody who owns two, and whose household will eventually own three of the Wii console, I think that'd be fine. But PS5, I don't like the design. Anyway, I wasn't that excited about the PS5 beforehand, and we're now in a situation where I'm even less. Because, in all honesty, there wasn't a heck of a lot really discussed. So let's go. This is all the first party stuff, all right? All the first party PS5 games that we know about and that they're coming. So there's a teaser for the new God of War, which is coming out next year, and it's going to involve Ragnarok, and it's going to be all snow and ice. And we kind of knew that. We knew that because we paid attention to the end of the last game. And we knew it wasn't coming this year. We knew it was coming next year. So, yeah, we got a teaser for a logo. And Kratos being all growly and prepare yourself. Which is fine. It's fine. We had Horizon Forbidden West, which we kind of knew about. I mean, we knew there was a Horizon sequel coming. Horizon is far too good to not deserve a sequel, and also made Guerrilla far too much money, so they were going to do that. We got Spider-Man Miles Morales, which is fantastic that we're getting that game. Frankly, it's a little bit easier for them to do than it would be normally because they've got all the assets, of course. It's very easy to do a sequel like that if, you know, you've got everything. And you're not telling me they've actually really done much in expanding upon stuff. We've got new light features, and we've put a little bit more effort maybe into Miles since a lot of focus is going to be on him. So we've got so have fun collecting all the various Miles Morales suits from here, there, and everywhere. I look forward to people being very upset that Into the Spider-Verse's version of Miles Morales has to be unlocked by doing something really stupid, because that's exactly the way that game has gone so far. There was Gran Turismo 7. Yeah. There's also Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. We saw a really nice trailer for it, which set up the story well. We saw that a few months back. And yeah, Insomniac make a nice looking trailer, but I don't think we've seen any gameplay of it yet. There was lots of stuff that was actually throughout all the videos so far. We've seen a lot of stuff that is, it's videos that look like gameplay, but clearly isn't. Clearly isn't. You know that what you're watching is pre-rendered. You know that a human being is not playing this. And yeah, there was sort of like, oh, this is what the gameplay could look like. And yeah, that's what it could look like. Will it look like that? Will the effects look like that? Actually, the more I watched that Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart trailer, the more I kept thinking of Fortnite and the rift in the sky. It felt very much like that. In fact, the whole thing felt very, very Fortnite-y, which is not the best way of getting my attention, I'll be honest with you. We've got Demon's Souls, a remake of the PS3 game, Demon's Souls. That was announced. It's going to be a PS5 launch title from Bluepoint and Japan Studio. Yeah, but yes, and yes, it's also an exclusive for a PlayStation 5 exclusive. And then underneath, in a smaller font, it says for a limited time only, and then it also says also available on PC. Oh, that was funny. It's absolutely exclusive, just for a very small time, and it's also available somewhere. But never mind that. It's a console exclusive. PCs aren't consoles. There's Returnal from Housemarque, which looks a little bit like, hey, what if there was a time loop in space? Yeah. It looks a little bit like... It looks a little bit like a cross between Halo and the aforementioned Horizon series. So what if Horizon was set in space? Yeah, this is one of those ones where somebody came up with the name first and designed a game around it. Sackboy: A Big Adventure. Sumo Digital, our good friends Sumo Digital, developing that, of course, with Little Big Planet's knitted mascot fellow. It's going to be a 3D platformer, and this is a quote, with a deeply immersive and expressive control scheme. Okay. Go for it. There is the option to play solo or with friends. So, single player and multiplayer. Okay, that's good. It's coming to PS5 at launch, and it's coming to the PS4 as well. Okay, so there's no reason to buy a PS5 for that game. Astro's Playroom. Astro from the VR game is it's going to be a preloaded game with a PS5 that sort of is more like an introduction to the DualSense controller. And you're going to guide the Astrobot through 4 worlds, which is entirely based on the PS5's console components. So it's probably going to be educational, but not educational, if you see what I mean. It's like, haha, look at this, look at our interpretation of system architecture that nobody will really appreciate apart from people who are interested in system architecture. So it's nice that Astro is getting when Astro was first came onto the scene. Astro's like, if you've not seen Astro is basically what if Eve from WALL-E was male, and that's pretty much the entire premise of the character. They're all like cheery little bots expression. I mean, the look facially, if you can call it a face, of Astrobot is exactly Eve from WALL-E. That is the only design cues they used. Honest to goodness. That's because, like I say, it's preloaded on your PS5, like a U2 album on iPod. It's preloaded. There's no escape from it. But it was either Astro or it was going to be Clank. And I know which one I prefer. There's Destruction All-Stars, and as we all know, PlayStation games with the word All-Stars in are normally shite. So, not the best of chance. This is by Lucid X Dev, apparently. It blends car and on-foot combat in a huge arena. So, it's an arena game, multiplayer game. It's got delusions of being something else. We also got other stuff like Final Fantasy 16. There's no stopping Final Fantasy. You just can't. It's very saddening. There's Deathloop, which is, from what I've seen of the trailer of Deathloop, it's like, what if Dishonored met We Happy Few? And then the film Looper. It's very strange. Two assassins stuck in a time loop. And you keep backwards and forwards. But it is very Dishonored in terms of its play mechanics. Also, that's another trailer that looks like, hey, nobody's actually playing this, and this is rendered. It's too precise. It's too precise on the way things go, and you can tell. You can actually tell that this isn't entirely on the level. But hey, what are you gonna do? What else is there coming onto the PS5? As Ghostwire Tokyo, that was revealed at E3 last year. It's part of the Bethesda conference. And we got some footage of it back in June, I believe it was. So it's the Shinji Mikami-led Tango Gameworks project. It's PC and a console exclusive to PS5. It's interesting. Godfall, counterplaying Gearbox's game, third-person melee combat, looter. Project Athia, which is another Square Enix one, and is designed exclusively for PS5. It doesn't mean it's going to be exclusive, it just means that it was designed with that console in mind. We got Hogwarts Legacy, which is exactly what it sounds like. It's a Possiverse game with no input from J.K. Rowling. There's Devil May Cry 5 Special Edition, because we really wanted yet another version of Devil May Cry 5. Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach was teased. Immortals Phoenix Rising, which I said, this is probably called Gods and Monsters, by the way. It's an Ubisoft platformer. Basically, it's Ubisoft's own version of Breath of the Wild. If you've looked at this thing, if you saw the premiere trailer, all the way through it, I was just like, wow, they've just taken that from Breath. Wow, they've taken that from Breath. Wow, they've taken that from Breath of the Wild. It's like the aesthetic feels very Breath of the Wild. There's sort of the mystical combination with technology is very Breath of the Wild. There's a sort of red volcanic explosion of magic into the sky, which is tainting the world, which looks exactly like Calamity Ganon to an embarrassing level. And yeah, if you would like an Ubisoft game to do Breath of the Wild with a little bit of Kid Icarus thrown in for good measure. Yeah, it's like there's a flying mechanic to get around the world. Is there really? Is there lots of climbing up mountains in the trailer? Oh, yes, there is. Oh, my God, no. There's also Riders Republic and Ride 4 and Graven and Lego Star Wars, The Skywalker Saga. But that's going to be on everything known to man. Poker Club, Vigor, White Shadows, Little Nightmares 2, Dragon Age 4. Not exactly holding much hope for Dragon Age 4 being any good. Bridge Constructor, The Walking Dead, because apparently we needed a combination of those two. Unknown 9 Awakening, which follows a young Indian girl with supernatural powers. Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War, because again, we needed a Call of Duty at launch for the PS4. It was one of the things it was required to happen. Apparently, there's going to be the option to upgrade. Supposedly, those who've already got it to the next generation version. Although how that's going to happen hasn't been confirmed in any way. There's Nour, Play With Your Food, which is apparently an interactive exploration into the aesthetics of food. Yeah, okay. Come back, COD, all is forgiven. We've got Puyo Puyo Tetris 2, Gotham Knights, which I'm sure you recall is the Batman is dead. You four, continue to do stuff. Defend Gotham. Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League, because Evil Superman. Braid Anniversary Edition, because again we really wanted Braid. Temtem, a multiplayer game which is already on the early access on PC. Hood, Outlaws and Legends, which is a PvPvE game, which was by the team from Sumo Newcastle, Sumo Digital Studio, which was behind Eve Valkyrie, and they were bought from CCP back when CCP started going downhill rather drastically. A puzzle platformer called The Pedestrian. There's a mythical adventure game about an archer and an eagle in a vast forest called The Pathless. Guilty Gear Strive, Overcooked All You Can Eat. As a AAA project from People Can Fly, Earthlock 2, Balan Wonderland. Oh, we'll get onto Balan Wonderland later. Oh boy. Yakuza Like a Dragon is coming, but it's coming to PS4, Xbox One, Windows 10 launch, and PS5 is coming at a later date. New Pro Evo game, which is like, is the sky blue? It is above you. Then there'll be a new Pro Evo game. Far Cry 6, Watch Dogs Legions, Marvel Avengers, Steel Rising, which from the studio Spiders, ooh. Which, oh my god. Right, so it's an action game involving, quote, King Louis XVI's automata army terrorizing the citizens of Paris, unquote. That's coming to PC next gen anyway. Heavenly Bodies, Marquette, Recompile Haven, Worms Rumble. There's additional projects from DICE, Motive and Criterion, FIFA 21, Madden 21, Cyberpunk. Hey, remember Cyberpunk? That was happening. Planet Coaster Console Edition, Quantum Error, Christ Tales, a love letter to classic JRPGs, it says here. Resident Evil Village, Resident Evil 8, aka Sherlock Holmes Chapter 1. Other chapters to follow. Dustborn, Pragmata, Little Devil Inside, NBA 2K21, Solar Ash, Bug Snacks, Caitlin Bridge of Spirits, Goodbye Volcano High, Oddworld, Soulstorm, Stray, Jet the Far Shore, Hitman 3, Chorus, Metal Hellsinger, Chivalry 2, Paradise Lost, Dirt 5, Vampire the Masquerade, Bloodlines 2, Assassin's Creed Valhalla. It's like I'm reading from the IRC again. Oh, Observer, System Redux, Lord of the Rings, Gollum. Outriders, WRC 9, and probably more. But in terms of first party, I mean, most of those are all third party, as I said, but first party was a bit, just a little bit. I can play half of those games on PC, and all the ones I want to play on PC. I don't know why I would want a PS5 for that purpose. But hey. Anyway, that's that. And I've been speaking far too long. So it's time for more music. And hey, we were talking about multiplayer. And actually, you know what we're going to do first? What we'll do first is we'll go into a PS3 game that I love. I've only played it briefly. I love it, and I want to get it at some point. And that is the Unfinished Swan. This is Monroe's story from the Unfinished Swan, and after that, we've got some very despicable birds indeed.
For 15 years, bringing you the best in video game music. This is Radio Redux.
Monroe's story from the Unfinished Swan, followed, of course, by music from the Untitled Goose game. Préludes, Book 1, the Dan Golding arrangement of Minstrels, and actually right at the beginning is also the fanfare, which is technically its own separate track, so I guess you've got 3 tracks there. There's multiplayers of Geese coming our way. This is the joy, this is the expansion that game desperately needed. Because the only thing better than being an arsehole is being an arsehole with your friends. But anyway, speaking of despicable geese...
iTunes, Spotify, and Radio Sega. You're listening to Radio Redux.
From Afterburner Climax, Sleepless Sanctuary. Afterburner Climax is a fantastic game. It'll break whatever system you're actually trying to play it on. It goes so damn fast if you've got all the various boosters and everything. But never mind, it's that damn good. Before that, of course, I did say it was Despicable Geese. We had Soy Sauce for Geese from Fatal Fury Special. I've been looking for an excuse to play that track for some time, I'll be honest with you. And hey, the whole flight, birds, geese, hey, it all makes sense. We can have the Untitled Goose game. We can certainly have Geese from Fatal Fury. Because why not? Now that we've addressed the balance between talking and music a little bit more, it's time for some more of the former. So last week, I did kind of intimate there was something that I'd done and I was very foolish of doing, probably. I spent a bunch of money on something gaming related. I'll tell you right now, it's not a console. There are very few games that are as important to me growing up than Turrican 2. Great games, great platforms, great design, great pacing, great music, and we'll have some of that in a minute, trust me. When I was young, my first system I ever owned was an Atari ST, which, as I've said before, was got purely because it also had educational aspects to it. And one of the very first games I got was a copy of ST Format, I think it was. One of their cover demo discs had a demo of Turrican 2 on it. I had not played the first Turrican, I knew nothing about Turrican, but I played it, and I played it more, and I mastered this damn level. And I couldn't find Turrican 2 anywhere. It was one of those periods where you kind of got games like at your local newsagents. They sold them. Eventually I came across Turrican 1 and I played it, and it was like, yeah, I can get this, and I kind of sucked at the later stuff. I don't think I ever completed Turrican 1. But the feeling of playing Turrican 2, if you asked me what if you forced me, you strapped me down and made me tell you what my favourite games of all time were, Turrican 2 would still be in that list. I eventually found Turrican 2 and got it and played it, and damn it, when I got to like the critical moment when I'm about to do the fireballs, this kind of got corrupted. The wonderful pure white disc with its aquamarine writing on it, which immediately made it 100% more cool than anything else I owned, of course, because it was just absolutely different. Turrican is a part of my gaming makeup as much as any game. When the Kickstarter for I think it was the 30th anniversary soundtrack collection came out, I was straight in there. And I've got that. There's in my office where I'm recording this. If you see the stuff you see on the streams when I do Twitch and stuff, like you always see the Sonic Unleashed, the big Sonic Unleashed canvas from Sega and Summer of Sonic from back in the day, which is basically just entirely used as it used to be up on the wall in the house a long time ago. It is now entirely used as a blind. But you see various things around my room. If you see video bits, like you'll see there's like a Sonic Boom print from the comics. There's the Guinness certificate. There's a VHS era Neon Genesis Evangelion A1 print. It's like, what you don't see is like stuff on the right where there's a Zelda Symphony of the Goddesses, again like A1 print or A0 print. There's the concept art prints for All Stars Racing. Was it All Star Racing Transform? It's All Star Racing Transform, like the concept art prints of that. There's another Sonic print. There's the original pencil drawings. There's the original pencil drawings of one of the pages from the last Archie Sonic comic that never got produced. And then there is the soundtrack anthology print of Turrican. So there's all this Sonic. There's some wrestling stuff in the corner too. There's all this Sonic stuff and Zelda and Evangelion, and then there's also in that mix Turrican. I think it's actually the artwork from Turrican 1 as opposed to Turrican 2. Turrican 2, the final fight, and it so wasn't. It came to my attention that a company had put together like this limited run Was it actually limited run? I don't think it was. But this Turrican collection of games for everything is going to be like ultimate. I don't know how they've got around, the copyright and trademark issues, because Turrican is an absolute mess. But when it comes to copyrights and trademarks and who owns what, Turrican is a mess. So the fact that it was offering this, can I find it? Where was it? It's strictly limited games. So they're pre-ordering this, and it just got everything. It's like all the games. They've very cheekily spread the Turrican anthology across 2 volumes for the Switch, which is kind of rude and just anyway. So Turrican Anthology Volume 1 contains apparently a Turrican from the Amiga, Turrican 2 from the Amiga. I will even take the Amiga version, in spite of it not being the Atari ST version. Super Turrican for the SNES. There's a Super Turrican Director's Cut for the SNES. The Mega Turrican Score Attack mode from Genesis and Mega Drive. Anthology Volume 2 has got Turrican 3 from the Amiga, Mega Turrican from the Genesis and Mega Drive, Mega Turrican Director's Cut from the same platforms, Super Turrican 2 for the SNES, Super Turrican 1 Score Attack for the SNES. The Ultra Collection of the Ultra Collectors Edition contains both of those. A collector's box with magnetic latch, Turrican Amiga outer box, 20cm exclusive Turrican figure, Turrican documentary Blu-ray, 4 CD soundtracks, art book, sticker sheet, 4 acrylic cards, manual, 4 Amiga coasters, 2 large reversible posters, acrylic diorama, enamel pin, signed postcard print, authentication certificate, his and hers bathrobes, and a cuddly toy. It's massive. It's a pre-order. They're not going to ship it until April or May. It cost €199.99, and by God, I went and pre-ordered it. Having Turrican games playable that I could take with me. You have no idea how amazing that is. The fact that it has been this massive bloody box. They are available separately, I should add. But at the same time, geez, what am I gonna do? I've paid for it though. But yeah, there's all sorts. Check it out on strictlylimitedgames.com. There's various versions, but Turrican coming back as a collaboration between Strictly Limited and Factor 5, and I don't even know how they managed to get in contact with Factor 5. I thought Factor 5 was completely defunct at this point, but apparently not. It's available for the Switch, it's available on PS4, and that's all you need to know. I'm surprised it's not available. It's going to be available on Xbox, but hey, go for it. I wish it was available on PC, but go for it. I'll take the Switch version. There's so much in those boxes. Like I say, they are available also separately in the various volumes, but only available via strictlylimitedgames.com. So get in there now if you want to enjoy. I haven't talked about nearly half the things I wanted to actually talk about in this show because the PS5 stuff took up so damn long. So, astonishingly, I'm almost at the end of the show. Wow. Okay. What we'll do is we'll have a music track, and I'll give you a brief update on what's coming up with LMC, and then we'll have a final music track, and that's how it's going to be for the rest of the show. What have we got to play? Well, we should actually have some Turrican, I think. That's rather appropriate. And funnily enough, there is a track involving flight. It's called Flightmare from the very first Turrican. That's coming up right now. And then we'll have a quick update for you on what's happening with LMC. See you later. Chris Hulsbeck's reworking of the original Turrican soundtrack, part of the Turrican soundtrack anthology. You'll get a different set of discs in that Turrican set I mentioned earlier. We'll give a different soundtrack set, apparently. So that'll be interesting. That will most definitely be interesting. So, I do not have very long at all, so I just wanted to give you a quick update on where we are as it stands in week whatever it is of me trying to rework the LMC website. The good news is we're getting close. I needed to spend, again, a lot of money. A Turrican 2 Collector's Edition kind of amount of money. To get the developers of the actual website theme to do something for me, which was to create a navigation system for the comics, because we're going to have more comics on there. We're going to have some more archive stuff, comics on there. So we needed a way to navigate from here, there, everywhere easier, and that needed to be done whilst maintaining all the stuff that we had. Or rather, all the stuff that was within the theme. You know, the stuff we bought the theme for in the first place. So that's a thing. And that's back. It works. I'm very happy with it. I've paid my last amount of money for it. So that leaves those need to be doing. And that leaves the last bit of Donnie's TSSZ archive. Now, the good news here is as of last night, there are only 80 Donnie posts remaining to be converted. They're all fussy ones that require lots of images and lots of hunting down, so it's going to go a bit slower. But hey, remember when the pending folder was like 3,000? Well, it's now 80. I am almost done. And it really is. It's been 99% me doing this. Dolly's done some, but it's been kind of 99% me. So yeah, we're almost there, folks. We're almost there. And once those are done, the LMC site will return. Simple as that. We're getting close. And of course, October's coming up. And October traditionally is Turboine. Turboine, where we bring you a bunch of Let's Plays from Turbo's past and present, which has like a slightly spooky bent to it all. We've been doing that for the last 5 years, I think. It's going to continue this year, so hopefully we're going to hit October running with all sorts of stuff coming up with the LMC website and more. Speaking of Turbo, please tune in this coming Wednesday for a very special charity stream that Turbo is doing. He's playing Typo Man Revisited, and he's doing that in support of the Indiecade 2020 campaign with the Completionists and other people. So he's one of the people actually streaming during that. So please do join him for that at twitch.tv/Turbo Drive Live. Lastly, not long left in the stream. Before, if you're listening on Radio Sega, Rexy is coming. She's here. Almost. But before that, I have one last track for you. In a collection of tracks about flight, you honestly didn't think I'd put in Night Flight. Well, here it is. This is from OutRun 2006 Coast to Coast. This is the prototype version of Night Flight. And that's it. I will see you soon. Bye for now.